Hi there, my name is Anna and this is the Book Dreamer's Alley. So welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to introduce you to my Sherlockathon TBR. Sherlockathon is a readathon taking place from the 19th of October to the 15th of November. And for that, the first prompt is a retelling. Read a diverse retelling by a non-voices author. So I chose Arusha and the End of Time, which is a middle grade fantasy book by Roshani Kokshi. I hope I pronounced that right. And it reads, Arusha has a tendency to stretch the truth in order to fit in at her private middle school. While her classmates are jetting off to exotic vacations, she'll be spending her autumn break in the Museum of Ancient Indian Art and Culture that her mom curates. Is it any wonder Aru makes up stories about being royalty, traveling to Paris and having a chauffeur? One day, 3 schoolmates show up at Aru's doorstep to catch her in a lie. They don't believe her claim that the museum's lamp on Paratha is cursed, and they dare Aru to prove it. Just a quick light, Aru thinks, then she'll never ever fib again. But lighting the lamp has dire consequences. She unwittingly frees the sleeper, an ancient demon who is intent on awakening the god of destruction. Her classmates and mother are frozen in time, and it's up to Aru to save them. The only way to stop the demon is to find the reincarnations of the legendary Pandava brothers and journey through the kingdom of death. But how is one girl in Spider-Man pajamas supposed to do it all? So it sounds quite fun and interesting. Let's give it a try. Prompt number 2, The Stout, Inspector Bradstreet. Read a book with more than 500 pages. For that, I chose A Poppy Word by R.F. Kuang. I've just started, so what I know is that we have a very strong female main character that comes from a poor situation in life and a family that's looking for wealth. She's going to be basically sold for marriage, but she finds a way out. Let's say. I don't want to say anything else because I don't want to spoil it. And it does happen in China. Prompt number 3. The Sedentary, Mycroft Holmes. Read any book only in one room. For that, I chose Measure for Measure by William Shakespeare. So quite easy to read in just one room. Prompt number 4 is The Capable, Inspector Gregson. And for that is read a book you hope to learn something from. I'm reading Stamped from the Beginning by Ibram X. Kendi. I'm actually listening to it in audiobook, also started today. And oh yes, I'm learning a lot. It's based on the history of racism and is teaching you what it really is racism and what it would not be. So it tells you about some important people in history who were supposed to have been anti-racist, but their speech was not such. Prompt number 5, The Woman, Irene Adler. For that is read a book by a woman. And I'll be reading Skying the Deep by Adrienne Young. I am not sure how I would feel about this later on, because I was told it doesn't give you what it promises, but let's see. It goes. Raised to be a warrior, 17-year-old Eileen fights alongside her Aska clansmen in an ancient rivalry against the Riki clan. Her life is brutal but simple. Fight and survive. Until the day she sees the impossible on the battlefield, her fighting with the enemy, the brother she watched die 5 years ago. Faced with her brother's betrayal, she must survive the winter in the mountains with the Riki, in a village where every neighbor is an enemy. Every battle scar, possibly one she delivered. But when the Riki village is raided by a ruthless clan thought to be a legend, Eileen is even more desperate to get back to her beloved family. She is given no choice but to trust Fiske, her brother's friend, who sees her as a threat. They must do the impossible, unite the clans to fight together, or risk being slaughtered one by one. Driven by a love for her clan and her growing love for Fiske, Eileen must confront her own definition of loyalty and family while daring to put her faith in the people she spent her life hating. Sounds interesting anyway, so I'll give it a try. Why not? Prompt number 6, The Nemesis, Professor James Moriarty. That's read a book with enemies. And for that, I'll be reading Crooked Kingdom by Lee Bardugo. It's the second one in the Six of Crows trilogy. And I'm really dying to get into it because I'm starting actually today. I'm buddy reading it from Steph Loves and Siobhan from Siobhan Louise Reads a Lot. And I've been so excited to get to it. Finally. I actually read the first one a long time ago. Now, prompt number 7 is the Scott Mrs. Hutton. That's read a book by a Scottish author or set in Scotland. For that one, I chose Transporting by Irvine Welsh. I'm not going to read the synopsis because it's in Spanish. I couldn't get it in English here. And I think most of us know the story. If you don't, I encourage you to at least watch the film. Prompt number 8 is The Plagiarist, Inspector Lestrade. That's read a book that is ghost reading or reading under a pen name. And for that one, I'll be reading Who Could That Be at This Hour by Lemon Snicket. I think his name is Daniel Handler. But it is the first one in All the Wrong Questions series. The one that came before a series of Unfortunate Events. So I think I'll join it. That's a middle grade, a spooky middle grade, perfect for the season. Now, prompt number 9 is The Narrator. That's Dr. John Watson. Read a book with a narrator. For that, I'll be reading a book in Spanish by a Colombian author because I live in Colombia. That's a sci-fi called El Gusano that would translate the worm. And it looks creepy and gross. But the art is amazing. And it came with this beautiful postcard as a bookmarker. Then prompt number 10 is The Consulting Detective, Sherlock Holmes. That's read a book with a detective. For that, rereading La Sombra del Viento, which is The Shadow of the Wind. I'm sure you must have heard about it. And it's by Carlos Ruiz-Zafón, a Spanish writer. And well, I think every single person I've heard talk about this book has loved it. I restarted yesterday and I hadn't realized actually how many characters are introduced. The yellow are the characters in the first section of the book. So, read, happy read for me, comfort read. Now, the last prompt number 11, is The Bonus Toppy. And that's a group book, which is The Hound of the Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. And of course, I got this edition about a month and a half before the readathon. I couldn't stop myself when I saw it. Just look at how gorgeous it is. I hope you're seeing it properly. And oh my gosh, look at that. Even the back, like everything. It's so amazing. It's gorgeous. Look at these end pages. So yeah, that's it for me today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope I'll see you next. Have a wonderful one. Bye.